Chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, Cultural Activity and Renunciation. This is a straight read-through of each verse, chapter by chapter, in sequence of the entire Bhagavad Gita without commentary. This is the translation by Michael Beloved. If you would like to read his commentary, which is excellent, please see his Bhagavad Gita Explained, available on Amazon and on michaelbeloved.com. Chapter 3, Cultural Activity and Renunciation. Arjuna contested, O motivator of men, if it is your idea that the mental approach is better than the physically active one, then why do you urge me to commit horrible action, O handsome-haired one? You baffle my intelligence with this two-way proposal. Mention one priority by which I would surely get the best result. The Blessed Lord said, in the physical world, a twofold standard was previously taught by me, O Arjuna, my good man. This was mind regulation by the yoga practice of the Samkhya philosophical yogis, and the action regulation by the yoga practice of the non-philosophical yogis. A man does not attain freedom from cultural activity merely by not being involved in social affairs. And not by renunciation alone does he achieve spiritual perfection. No one, even momentarily, ever exists without vibration. By the variations of mundane energy in material nature, everyone, even against their wish, is forced to perform. A person who, while restraining his bodily limbs, sits with mind remembering attractive objects is a deceiver, so it is declared. However, whosoever endeavors to control the senses by the mind, O Arjuna, and who restricts the limbs through regulating his work by yoga practice without attachment is superior. Moral action should be done by you. Performance is better than non-performance. Even the maintenance of your body could not be achieved without activity. Besides action for religious fulfillment and ceremony, this world is action-bound. Act for the sake of religious fulfillment and ceremony, O son of Kunti. Be free from attachment. Act promptly. Long ago, having created the first human beings, along with the religious fulfillment and ceremonies, the procreator Brahma said, by this worship procedure you may be productive. May it cause the fulfillment of your desires. By this procedure you may cause the supernatural rulers to flourish. They, in turn, may bless you. In favorably regarding each other, the highest well-being will be achieved. The supernatural rulers, being manifested through prescribed austerity and religious ceremony, will indeed give you the most desired people and things. Whosoever does not offer those items, those given items to them, but who enjoys these, is certainly a thief. Krishna continues, the virtuous people who utilize the items after they are sanctified by prescribed ceremony are released from all faults. But the wicked ones who prepare for their own sake consume their own impurity. The creatures are produced from nourishment. From rain clouds, nourishment originated. From prescribed austerity and religious ceremony, rain clouds are produced. And prescribed austerity and religious ceremony are caused by cultural activities. Cultural activity is produced from the personified Veda. The personified Veda comes from the unaffected Supreme Spirit. Hence, the all-pervading Supreme Spirit is always situated in prescribed austerities and religious ceremony. O son of Pritha, a person who does not cause this circular process to be perpetuated here on earth lives as a malicious, sensually happy, and worthless person. A person who is spiritually pleased, self-satisfied, and spiritually content has no cultural duties. The person who does not aspire for gain in an action or in an inaction is not reliant on any mundane creature. Therefore, always being unattached, perform the action which is your duty. By being detached and executing the required tasks, a person gets the highest stage. Beginning with Janaka, perfection was attained by cultural activities alone. Seeing the necessity for world maintenance, you should act. Whatever a great person does, for that only others aspire. Whatever trend he establishes, the world pursues. For me, O son of Pritha, there is nothing specific that must be done in the three divisions of the universe. And there is nothing that I have not attained, nor should acquire, and yet I function in cultural activities. If perchance I did not perform attentively, then all human beings, O son of Pritha, would follow me in all respects. If I should not engage in cultural activity, these worlds would perish, and I would be a producer of social chaos. I would have destroyed these creatures. As the unintelligent people perform with attachment to cultural activity, O son of the Bharata family, so the wise person should act, but in a detached manner, for the maintenance of society. One should not produce indetermination in the minds of the simpletons. A wise person should inspire them to be satisfied by action. The wise one should be disciplined in behavior. In all cases, actions are performed by variations of the primal mundane energy. But the identity confused person thinks, I am the performer. But, O powerful man, having considered that the variations of material nature interact with variations of material nature, the reality perceiving person is not attached to anything. Those who are deluded by the variations of material nature are attached to mood motivating activities. The person who understands the reality should not unsettle those foolish people who have partial insight. All your working power should be entrusted to me. On the Supreme Spirit you should meditate, being free from cravings, indifferent to selfishness, do fight. Be a man whose feverish mood has departed. Those human beings who believe my idea, constantly applying it, not complaining, are freed from the consequences of action. Know that those who discredit this instruction and do not practice my ideas, being of muddled insight, are jinxed and senseless. A human being, even a wise man, acts according to his material nature. The creatures submit to the material nature. What will restraint do? The response of liking or disliking that is felt between a sense and an attractive object is deep-seated. One should not be influenced by the power of these two moods. They are hindrances. Better to do one's righteous duty imperfectly than to do the duty of another with great efficiency. Death is better in the course of one's duty, but the task of another is risky. Arjuna said, "Then explain, O family man of the Vrishnis, by what is a person forced to commit an evil unwillingly, just as if he were compelled to do so?" The Blessed Lord said, "This force is craving. This power is anger. The passionate emotion is the force. It has a great consuming power and does much damage. recognize it as the enemy in this case. As the sacrificial fire is obscured by smoke, and similarly as a mirror is shrouded by dust, or as an embryo is covered by a skin, so a man's insight is blocked by the passionate energy. The discernment of educated people is adjusted by their eternal enemy, which is the sense of yearning for various things. O son of Kunti, the lusty power is as hard to satisfy as it is to keep a fire burning. It is authoritatively stated that the senses, the mind and the intelligence, are the combined warehouse of the passionate energy. By these facilities, the lusty power confuses the embodied soul, shrouding his insight. Thus, regulating the senses initially, you should, O powerful man of the Bharata family, squelch this degrading power which ruins knowledge and discernment. The ancient psychologists say that the senses are energetic, but in comparison to the senses, the mind is more energetic. In contrast to the mind, the intelligence is even more sensitive, but in reference, the spirit is most elevated. Thus, having understood what is higher than intelligence, keeping the personal energies under control of the spirit, root out, O powerful man, the enemy, the form of passionate desire which is difficult to grasp. That was chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. Thanks for listening.